Hello and welcome, boys, in your science class. Today in science, we are going to start with Learner's Book, lesson. Here we are on Unit 1, Environment and Habitat, Lesson 1.2, Plants in Different Habitats. Pages are from 7 to 12 of your Science Learner's Book. So in this lesson, we have learned places where plants live as habitat, different plants in a habitat, and environment where plants do not grow. So in this lesson, we have seen some of the vocabulary words like crack, photograph, desert, pretend, record, and describe. So plants in different habitats. Plants grow in many different habitats. Like animals, plants also have their different habitats. All plants need water. Many plants grow in or by water. Plants grow by a river. Plants grow by a stream. So where do they grow? There are different habitats where plants grow. This is important that all plants need water. Some of them they need lots of water and some of them they need little water. So you can see here are different habitats of plants. Desert, polar region where there is so much cold. Then we have in the forest, near the pond, near the stream, there are different types of plants with their different habitats. So here are some of the habitats: deserts, domestic, farm, forest, polar, savanna, oceans, tropical rainforest. So every place is different for different plants have different habitats. A place where what is habitat? A place where plants and animals can meet their needs, means their food, their shelter, their requirements is fulfilled. That is the habitat for plants and animals. So here are some of the habitats: woodland forest, a habitat that gets rain and sunlight for trees to grow well is called woodland forest. And here there are lots of different kinds of plants and trees, and they get huge amount of water from the rain and sunlight. Desert, a place that gets very little rain, or you can say mostly no rain. Then we have ocean, a very large body of salt water. Some of the plants they grow near the oceans and some of the plants they grow inside the ocean. Then we have stream, a freshwater habitat with moving water. So in stream, what happens? The water is fresh and water is moving. So most of the plants near the stream are very healthy because they get fresh water. Coming back to the lesson, we have some plants live in hot desert. It is very dry here. So as you know that in deserts, the temperature is very high and there is very little rain, and plants that grow in the desert they need very little amount of water and they can survive the hot weather. Okay, how can these plants live with very little water? In the end of the lesson we are going to write answers to the questions. So here is the drawing of my plant. So here what you are going to do, you are going to draw your plant and you are going to circle the answers. It has some soil, yes or no. It has water, yes. It has light, yes. This habitat was So mostly those plants that are in the house, their habitats are pots. So you can write that the habitat of this plant is pots. So here are some questions that we are going to write in the notebook. What does plant need to grow? All plants need water and sunlight. Where do plants grow? Plants grow in a stream and river, etc. How can these plants live with very little water? Some plants store water and little water is needed to grow. So they require only little amount of water to grow. So now we are going to talk about environments where plants don't grow. Different plants like different habitats. This means that in most parts of the plant earth, we find plants growing. You can see the picture that shows plants where plants don't grow, habitats where plants don't grow. So here are the pictures of two of the places where plants do not grow. One is the desert where it is very hot. Plants don't grow here because there is no rain. No rain means no plants can survive. There are some of the plants that need little amount of water, but at least they need water. Where there is no rain and the temperature is very high, it means plants are not going to grow in such places. When you see on the other side, you can see the temperature is very low, very cold. So when there the temperature is very cold, plants cannot survive in such environment as well, because plants, most of the plants, they need moderate temperature to survive. If it is very hot or very cold, plants cannot grow. So here are different plants that have different habitats. First one is the rice that grows in a very wet soil. It needs a wet soil. Rice needs a habitat which is warm with lots of light and water. Rice grow in a very wet soil. So if there is the soil is not wet, plants are not going to grow. In the second picture, pond. Weed needs a habitat underwater in a pond, lake, or river. It needs light. It must not get very cold. So you can see the second picture. It is about the picture of pondweed where it needs water. It can be underwater or it can be near lake or river. It needs lights. It must not get very cold, otherwise it is going to die. Then on the third we have cactus. Cactus need a habitat which is very hot. It needs light, it needs very little water to survive. So as I have told you, some of the plants, they need lots of water and some of the plants, they need little water to survive. So cactus is one of them. It stores the water inside its body and it can survive with the little amount of water, whereas the rice plant or pondweed needs lots of water to survive. So that's all for today's lesson. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Take care and have a nice day.